Today we will be talking about the match between Rajasthan Royals versus Delhi Capitals, which happened in Delhi. Delhi has finished the win that we see, and we see that the bottom four teams are giving tough competition to the top four teams, and the playoff chances are very high that we see. Delhi also kept their playoff chances very high. Kolkata also kept their playoff chances very high. But now it is the toughest ever IPL that only RCB is the only team which is qualified, and Gujarat Titans is almost going to qualify. Who will be the last two teams to qualify? That we see is the main reason, and it can be the main option, because Delhi have won two games that we see. Can they be that team to win this game? And all that we talk about is the Delhi Capitals. And so let's talk about this game. So we talk about Rajasthan Royals batting. We see that Yashasvi Jaiswal scored 3 4s. That we see he's been that player who's been playing so good and so well in the IPL that we see. He's a player who he's been playing so good and so well that we see. That is Yashasvi Jaiswal. So we talk about Yashasvi Jaiswal. Yashasvi Jaiswal has been that player who has been playing so good and so well in the IPL that we see. He's been a player who has been playing such good knocks in the IPL that we see. That is Yashasvi Jaiswal. But today he scored 12 runs that we see. He has been that player who has been doing so good and so well that we see. That is Yashasvi Jaiswal. And then we talk about Vaibhav Suryavanshi. Vaibhav Suryavanshi has been that player who has been smashing those sixes very well that we see. He's been a player who smashes 3 6s, and he's been the player who has been scoring those runs very well that we see. That is Vaibhav Suryavanshi. Vaibhav Suryavanshi has been that player who has been playing so good and so well, and a player who is a magnificent player in the IPL that we see. That is Vaibhav Suryavanshi has been smashing those sixes very well, and he's having a very good strike rate, that is 219.4. Vaibhav Suryavanshi had a good strike rate he had a very good strike rate, that is 219.04 that we see. And then we talk about Dhruv Jurel. Dhruv Jurel has been a player who has been playing so good and so well in the IPL. He's a player who has been playing a very good IPL that we see. That is Dhruv Jurel is a player who is playing very well in the IPL. He's a player who can score good runs in the IPL that we see. That is Dhruv Jurel. And Dhruv Jurel can be that player who has been playing so good that we see. A player who can play very well in the IPL that we see. That is Dhruv Jurel has been the player who is scoring a magnificent 50 that we see. That is Dhruv Jurel. Dhruv Jurel has been that player who has been playing so good and so well in the IPL, and a player who can score magnificent runs in the IPL that we see. That is Dhruv Jurel. He's been that player who has been scoring magnificent knocks in the IPL that we see. That is Dhruv Jurel. And then we talk about Riyan Parag. Riyan Parag, even after scoring a 50 that we see, he's been that player who's been playing so good and so well in the IPL that we see. That is Riyan Parag. Riyan Parag has been that player who has been performing very well that we see. He's a player who has been doing so good and so well in the IPL that we see. That is Riyan Parag. Then we talk about Donvin Ferreira. Donvin Ferreira has been that player who got out on the first ball that we see. Ravi Singh also got out. Shubham Dubey, and after that Dasun Shanaka also got out. And I think Rajasthan Royals batting was not that performing very well that we see, except the top order of Suryavanshi, Dhruv Jurel and Riyan Parag that we see. They have been that players who have been playing so good and so well in the IPL that we see. Vaibhav Suryavanshi has also been smashing those sixes in the IPL that we see. Dhruv Jurel has been a player who has been doing so good and so well in the IPL. And then we talk about Riyan Parag has been that player who has been smashing those sixes all time that we see. A player who can score good amount of runs in the IPL that we see. That is Riyan Parag has been that player who has been playing so good and so well that we see. A player who has been playing very good in the IPL that we see. That is Riyan Parag. And then we talk about the Delhi Capitals bowling. So Mitchell Stark took 4 wickets that we see. He's been that player who is handling both in the power play also and in the death overs also. Mitchell Stark has been that only player who has been playing so good and so well. He has been bowling good in the power play and in the death overs. Even after missing the first half of the IPL, Mitchell Stark is coming back in the second half of the IPL. Mitchell Stark has been performing very well in the IPL this year in the second half that we see. Even if he would perform well in the first half, Delhi Capitals would have been either on the third or on the fourth position. if Stark would have performed very well that we see. Lungiseni Ngidi that we see took 2 wickets that we see. He has been that player who has been taking 2 wickets that we see. That is Lungiseni Ngidi has been that player who's been doing very well that we see. A player who has been doing so good that we see, and is giving a support to Mitchell Stark in this over that we see. He has been that player who has been doing very well that we see. That is Lungiseni Ngidi, and Madhav Tiwari is that star boy for Delhi Capitals all-rounder that we see. Madhav Tiwari has been that player who has been playing so good and so well in the IPL that we see. That is Madhav Tiwari has been a player who can play so good and so well that we see, and a player who is such a good player in the IPL that we see. That is Madhav Tiwari has been that player who has been performing very well in the IPL that we see. He's been that player who is performing well for Delhi in the last 2 games that we see. He's a player who has played very well that we see. That is Madhav Tiwari. And then we talk about the the Delhi Capitals batting that we see. That is only because of Abhishek Poral and KL Rahul. Their batting has been too good that we see. Abhishek Poral has been playing so good and so well in the IPL this year. He's been that player who has been performing very well in the IPL that we see. That is Abhishek Poral. Abhishek Poral can be that player who has been scoring such good runs in the IPL that we see. A player who has been scoring so good runs in the IPL that we see. That is Abhishek Poral, and he's been that player who has been performing very well in the IPL that we see. That is Abhishek Poral has been that player who has been doing so good that we see. He's been a player who has been performing good in the power play overs that we see. That is Abhishek Poral. And then we talk about KL Rahul. KL Rahul has been that player who has been performing very well, and a player who has been doing so good that we see. And KL Rahul has been that player who has been scoring such good runs in the IPL that we see. He has been that player who has been performing very well in the IPL that we see. That is KL Rahul has been that only player who has been doing so good that we see. A player who can score such good amount of runs in the IPL that we see. That is KL Rahul, and KL Rahul can be that player who can do very well in the IPL that we see. He's a player who can perform well and can score 2 good runs in the power play that we see. That is KL Rahul has been that player who's been doing very well that we see. And then we talk about Sahil Parakh. Sahil Parakh has been that player who scored 2 good runs in the IPL that we see. But now Sahil Parakh also has scored 9 of 8 balls that we see. He has been that player who's not been doing good that we see. Akshar Patel in the last 2 games that we see. Akshar Patel in the last 2 games is bringing Delhi to the right track that we see. He's been that player who has been playing a massive innings in the IPL that we see. That is Akshar Patel. Akshar Patel has been that player who has been doing so good and so well in the IPL. He's a player who has been performing very well in the IPL that we see. A player who can score good amount of runs in the IPL that we see. That is Akshar Patel. Can be such a good player in the IPL, and can be a player who can play so good and so well in the IPL that we see. That is Akshar Patel can be that player who has been doing so good in the IPL that we see. A player who can smash amount of runs in the IPL that we see. Akshar Patel can be that player who can do so good in the IPL that we see. Then talking about Tristan Stubbs. Stubbs has been that player who went out on 4. David Miller also went out on 9 and smashed a 6, which gave Delhi the big momentum that we see. But we talk about Ashutosh Sharma's cameo that we see. 18 of 5 balls that we see. He smashed 2 sixes and 1 4 that we see. Ashutosh Sharma's cameo led Delhi to the higher position that we see, and Ashutosh Sharma smashing those sixes in the last over gave Delhi a bigger win in the IPL that we see. And that team has been so good and so well in the second half that we see. In the last 2 games, Delhi have been performing very well that we see. And then we go to Rajasthan Royals' bowling. We see that Jofra Archer took 2 wickets, Brijesh Sharma took 2 wickets, Dasun Shanaka took 1 wicket that we see, and no Ravindra Jadeja also in that game that we see. And Archer took 2 wickets, Brijesh took 2, Shanaka took 1, and we see that Archer and Brijesh have been that bowlers who have been doing very well that we see. And Dasun Shanaka has been that player who has also taken 1 wicket that we see, and they have been doing so good and so well in the IPL that we see. That is the RR's bowling, but yesterday it would have not been so good and so well that we see. And let's go to the points table. So Royal Challengers Bangalore have officially qualified for the playoffs. So no matter what they have they will be going to the playoffs. Gujarat Titans are on the 16 points with with one loss that we see. In last match they lost. SRH with on the third, PBKS on the fourth, uh, CSK on the fifth, RR on sixth, Delhi Capitals on seventh, KKR on eighth, MI on 9, and LSG on 10. So we see that MI and LSG have officially been eliminated. RCB is qualified. So talking about these games today, I think Punjab Kings do not have a chance to qualify for the playoffs. Rajasthan Royals have chances to qualify for the playoffs. I think if they win their next two games that we see, uh, let's hope for the best. If Rajasthan Royals win their next two games for sure, that can be the possibility that we see. And also we talk about CSK have chances to come in the playoffs that we see. Even CSK and RR both, if they win this game, they have high chances to come and they can have their playoff hopes alive that we see. I hope if CSK or Rajasthan Royals' playoff hopes can be alive. I think Punjab Kings will not be coming to the playoffs this year that we see. And I don't think Punjab Kings are going to come into the playoffs. For sure, my IPL playoffs for top 4 will be RCB is officially qualified, Gujarat Titans, for sure Sunrisers Hyderabad, and Rajasthan Royals can be the 4 teams who can qualify for this year's playoffs that we see, and can be that team who can qualify that playoffs this year. I think CSK can be that CSK will not qualify this year. I think for sure CSK is not going to qualify. Rajasthan Royals is going to qualify for sure. But I think the today's match is between the Chennai Super Kings versus Sunrisers Hyderabad. If Chennai Super Kings win this game, RCB go to qualify 1. If Sunrisers Hyderabad win, Gujarat and SRH will both qualify for the playoffs that we see. It's going to be the toughest ever playoffs mission that we see. Will CSK make it to the playoffs this year that we see? Can CSK really make it to the playoffs, or can they win it this time? Can CSK win this big game tonight? Can it be Dhoni's last game that we see? It could be Dhoni's last game that we see. He's been that player who's been playing very well that we see. Dhoni did not come in the last 12 games. I think without Dhoni, Ruturaj Gaikwad's captaincy has been that player who he has managed a neutralized captaincy that we see. That is Ruturaj Gaikwad. Okay, CSK against the top 5 teams that we see, that is RCB, GT, SRH, Punjab Kings, RR. They won 0 wins in 5 games against DC, KKR, MI and LSG. I think 6 out of 7 games they won. One they lost against Lucknow that we see. Can CSK win this game? It is a do or die game for the Chennai Super Kings that we see. Chennai Super Kings have to have a huge chance that we see. Samson, Ruturaj, Urvil Patel, Shivam Dubey. Can they have a huge chance, or can Sunrisers Hyderabad help the Gujarat Titans and themselves to qualify for the playoffs? Like we see 2016, we see RCB had qualified, Gujarat Lions have qualified, and Sunrisers Hyderabad have qualified. And in 2026, we see RCB have qualified for the playoffs. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar was the Purple Cap winner in 2016. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is leading with the Purple Cap in 2026. I think we see that the 2026 is the new 2016 that we see. And SRH team, I talk about SRH's batting is so good that we see Travis Head, Abhishek Sharma, Ishan Kishan, Henrik Klassen, Nitish Reddy that we see, and Pat Cummins. Their bowling has been so good that we see. Their batting has been so good and so well played that we see. And they have been that team who have been performing really very well in the IPL that we see. That is the Sunrisers Hyderabad, other team which has been doing so good and so well that we see. But today I think the Chennai Super Kings are going to win this game for sure. And I think the in Chennai the score will be like 180 to 200 plus. will be the score for sure. And I think today I think Sanju Samson or Abhishek Sharma is going to score these runs that we see. And I think these players have been doing so good. Sanju Samson that we see, either he has been that player who has been carrying the batting for CSK. Will Sanju Samson carry the batting for Chennai Super Kings today that we see? He has been that player who has been doing so good and so well in the IPL that we see. That is Sanju Samson. Sanju Samson has been that player who has been doing so good and so well in the IPL that we see. He's a player who can perform really well, very well in the IPL. Can it be today his day? Can it be the Sanju Samson's day today that we see? Can it happen that we see? And that's all for today, and make sure you like, share and subscribe for more content and for more videos and all. Thank you.